The morning sun spilled over the neatly lined houses of Willow Creek, casting a golden glow on the freshly mowed lawns. Birds chirped in the trees, and the faint hum of sprinklers added a gentle rhythm to the day. Among the tidy rows of homes lived the family, a single parent, Alex, and their young child, Sam, who had special needs. The neighborhood seemed calm, almost idyllic, but beneath the polished lawns and painted fences, small tensions quietly simmered. Alex had always valued this community for its friendly atmosphere. Neighbors waved from their porches, kids played safely in the cul-de-sac, and the local homeowners association kept things orderly. Alex appreciated the routine, morning walks with Sam, breakfast together, and the comforting predictability of their daily life. Sam loved simple pleasures, watching the birds, drawing colorful pictures, and sometimes waving to neighbors as they passed. Life was simple, measured, and safe, or so Alex thought. Not far from their home lived Karen, a neighbor who had quickly gained a reputation for being assertive and somewhat demanding. Karen's house stood a few doors down, its freshly painted walls and manicured garden showing a level of care and attention that impressed some. But for Alex, Karen's presence always carried a quiet tension. Karen had a way of inserting herself into other people's affairs, insisting on rules and guidelines she often interpreted in her own way. She was friendly when it suited her, but when disagreements arose, she could be difficult, and she rarely considered anyone else's perspective. The morning seemed no different than any other. Alex was setting the table for breakfast while Sam sat nearby, coloring in a sketchbook with bright crayons. The warm smell of toast and fruit filled the kitchen, creating a small bubble of comfort and safety. Alex glanced out the window and noticed Karen standing near the curb, peering at the property with her usual intensity. Her expression was calm but deliberate, like someone calculating her next move. Alex tried to dismiss the feeling of unease. Perhaps Karen had noticed a minor issue, like an overgrown bush near the property line, or maybe she was simply taking her morning walk. Still, Alex felt a flicker of tension. Karen had a way of turning small matters into confrontations, and Alex had learned to stay vigilant, particularly for Sam's sake. Sam, unaware of the undercurrents, hummed happily while sketching a bright sun and tall trees on the page. By mid-morning, Karen made her approach. She walked with a purposeful stride, her eyes fixed on the front yard as though she owned the space. Alex took a deep breath, trying to remain calm, knowing that any sudden confrontation could unsettle Sam. Karen stopped near the edge of the driveway and called out in her usual sharp tone, "Alex, we need to talk." Alex's stomach tightened. There was always a tension in Karen's voice that implied more than words could convey. "Good morning, Karen. What's the matter?" Alex asked, keeping the tone neutral. Karen's gaze shifted to Sam, who looked up from the coloring book with curiosity and innocence. "This isn't about me," Karen said, her tone casual but sharp. "It's about what's happening here." Alex nodded slowly, sensing that what might start as a small disagreement could quickly escalate. In Willow Creek, appearances mattered, and Karen had a way of making everyone aware of who she thought was in charge. Alex wished for a peaceful resolution, hoping that whatever Karen wanted to discuss could be handled politely. Sam, blissfully unaware, returned to coloring, adding bright strokes of blue and green to the page. The tension hung in the air, invisible but tangible, as Karen's eyes scanned the yard. Alex felt the weight of responsibility, not only for themselves but for Sam. The sense of unease was enough to make the morning quiet feel unusually heavy. In that moment, Alex realized that life in the neighborhood was not always as serene as it appeared. Some days brought unexpected challenges, and this morning seemed poised to be one of those days. As Karen straightened and took a step closer, Alex silently prepared for what might come next. Whatever it was, Alex promised to protect Sam, no matter the difficulty. The calm of Willow Creek streets might have suggested safety, but Alex knew that sometimes, even in quiet neighborhoods, conflicts could arrive uninvited, and this would be one of those days. The morning air seemed heavier as Karen stepped onto the property, her gaze sharp and unyielding. Alex felt a tightening in the chest, a mixture of anticipation and worry. Something about Karen's approach signaled that this would not be a simple conversation. Sam, still seated on the porch steps with their sketchbook, looked up with a hopeful smile. "Is she a friend?" Sam asked innocently. Alex forced a calm smile. "We'll see, Sam. Let's stay quiet and listen." Corinne's voice carried as she spoke, pointed but casual. I noticed something here, and I thought it should be addressed immediately. She stopped a few feet away from Sam, her posture straight, hands on her hips. Alex tried to gauge her tone, whether it was meant as guidance, criticism, or something more confrontational. Before Alex could respond, Corinne leaned slightly forward and reached toward Sam. The child flinched instinctively, unsure of why Corinne's hand moved so quickly. Hey! Alex exclaimed, stepping in and placing a protective hand gently but firmly on Sam's shoulder. Please don't reach for Sam like that. Corinne tilted her head, as if surprised by the reaction, and then smirked lightly. Oh, don't worry. I wasn't trying to hurt anyone. I just thought you needed a lesson in responsibility. Her voice was calm but carried an undercurrent of authority, as if she expected compliance without question. Alex's heart pounded. They could feel Sam's small hand trembling slightly in theirs, a quiet signal that the child was unsettled. Responsibility, Alex repeated. Sam is doing their best. There's no need to act out like this. Corinne shrugged, unconcerned. I think you misunderstand. I have certain standards around here, and when they're not met, I feel it's my duty to intervene. Her gaze lingered on Sam, who had instinctively drawn their legs closer to the body, a small barrier against the tension that had suddenly filled the space. Alex inhaled slowly, trying to steady their nerves. Intervene how? Corinne's tone became dismissive. I believe sometimes children need a firm reminder, guidance, a small correction. She gestured vaguely toward Sam, as if brushing the idea aside as normal. Alex's jaw tightened. Sam is doing nothing wrong. I am their parent, and I expect you to respect that. Corinne leaned back slightly, raising an eyebrow. Oh, I respect you mostly, but some lessons transcend parental authority. Her smirk returned, sharp and unyielding. Then she said something that made Alex's blood run cold. Besides, you can't really stop me. I mean, I'm a girl. The law tends to treat people like me differently. Alex froze, stunned at the statement. It wasn't just the words themselves, but the casual assumption that entitlement came with gender. Sam's small eyes widened, confusion mixing with the lingering sense of unease. Alex gently placed a hand on Sam's shoulder again, grounding them. Sam, it's okay. You're safe, Alex whispered, their voice steady despite the surge of protective instinct inside them. Corinne's expression hardened, as if daring Alex to argue. I'm just stating a fact. Some people think I can't be held accountable the same way others might be. Alex exhaled slowly, regaining control of the situation. Accountability isn't optional. No one is above it. Sam deserves safety, respect, and space. That includes you respecting boundaries, Corinne. Corinne looked at Alex for a long moment, as if measuring whether to push further. Finally, she turned slightly and muttered, Well, you'll see I'm not easy to convince. She then walked away, leaving a tense silence behind her. Sam let out a small sigh, looking up at Alex. Why was she so mean? The child asked softly. Alex pulled Sam close, holding them gently. Some people have a hard time understanding other people's feelings, Sam, but we'll make sure we're safe and we'll handle this together. After Corinne left, Alex felt a mix of relief and apprehension. The encounter had shaken the morning calm and left a lingering sense of unease. They knew the family could not rely on hope alone. This was more than a disagreement. It was a challenge that demanded careful planning, awareness, and persistence. As Alex sat with Sam, listening to the soft humming of the neighborhood in the distance, they realized something important. Even in a quiet, orderly community, unexpected challenges could arise. Some days tested patience, vigilance, and courage. This morning had been one of those days, and Alex silently vowed to protect Sam at all costs, ensuring the child's safety, dignity, and sense of security. The sun climbed higher in the sky, casting brighter light over the street, but the weight of the confrontation lingered. Alex knew the family's journey was only beginning, and the calm of Willow Creek was no longer a guarantee. It was something they had to actively protect. The afternoon sun cast long shadows across the family's front yard, but the warmth outside could not touch the heaviness in Alex's chest. The morning's confrontation with Corinne replayed in their mind, each detail sharper than the last. Sam sat on the porch steps, cradling their sketchbook, fingers tapping nervously against the pages. The usual joy of drawing had faded, replaced by a quiet unease that Alex could not ignore. Alex knelt beside Sam, keeping their voice calm and steady. "Hey, Sam," they said gently. "It's okay, you're safe now." Sam's small hands clutched the sketchbook, and a faint shiver ran through the child's shoulders. "But she said I did something wrong," Sam whispered, looking up with wide eyes. Alex took a deep breath, gathering patience like armor. "Sam, sometimes people say things that aren't true. It doesn't mean you did anything wrong. You are kind, careful, and brave. I'm here to make sure nothing bad happens to you." Sam's lips pressed together, uncertainty still lingering, but the reassurance softened the tension slightly. Once Sam retreated inside to wash up and calm down, Alex remained on the porch, watching the quiet street. The neighborhood seemed peaceful again, but Alex knew that appearances could be misleading. Coincidental had acted boldly, and her words about being untouchable because of her gender had left a gnawing unease. Alex realized that this was not a one-time disagreement. It was the beginning of a challenge that would require careful attention, strategy, and patience. The first call Alex made was to the local authorities. They explained the situation calmly, emphasizing that their priority was Sam's safety and the need for guidance on how to document and address the incident. The dispatcher listened attentively and assured Alex that a report could be filed and that the matter would be taken seriously. While the response did not immediately resolve the tension, it provided a small measure of reassurance. Next, Alex contacted the homeowners association. They were careful with their words, avoiding accusations while clearly stating the facts. Coincidental had approached their property in a confrontational manner and had behaved inappropriately toward a child with special needs. The HOA representative noted the complaint and promised to review the incident, though Alex could sense hesitation. Coincidental's reputation as a difficult but seemingly untouchable neighbor complicated matters, and some HOA members appeared reluctant to act quickly. Even with official support in motion, Alex could not shake the lingering anxiety. Sam's mood had shifted. The child seemed more hesitant, quieter, and more aware of the dynamics around the neighborhood. Alex gently encouraged Sam to share their feelings. "It's okay to be upset," Alex told them. "You don't have to hide how you feel. I want to hear everything you're thinking." Sam's small voice admitted, "I don't want her to come back." Alex nodded, feeling a mix of sorrow and determination. "I understand, Sam. We'll make sure it doesn't happen again. You have the right to feel safe here. We'll do everything we can to protect that." By evening, the neighborhood was alive with subtle activity. Neighbors walking their dogs, cars passing by, and children playing under the soft glow of streetlights. Alex reflected on how differently people could view the same incident. Some neighbors might dismiss Coincidental's actions, while others would quietly support the family. The delicate balance of community perception was part of the challenge they now faced. To regain some sense of control, Alex began documenting everything carefully, writing down the timeline of events, recording conversations, and noting the details of Coincidental's words and actions. They reviewed security footage from the front yard and began considering witnesses who had seen the morning's events. Every small detail mattered, and Alex resolved to use method and clarity to ensure that Sam's safety remained the priority. As the household settled for the night, Alex tucked Sam into bed, brushing back strands of hair and whispering reassurances. "You are brave and you are loved. We will face this together," Alex said. Sam, though still quiet, nodded and held onto the comfort of parental presence. Later, Alex sat alone at the kitchen table, a notebook open before them. The day had been exhausting, emotionally and mentally, but they knew the work was just beginning. Coincidental's actions had disrupted more than just a morning. They had introduced uncertainty into the family's sense of safety. Alex resolved that they would meet this challenge thoughtfully, with patience, evidence, and unwavering commitment to Sam's well-being. The neighborhood's quiet night was a reminder that even in peaceful communities, challenges could arise unexpectedly. But Alex felt a growing strength within, fueled by love and determination. They understood that this was not just about confronting Coincidental. It was about protecting a child, asserting boundaries, and finding fairness in a complex world. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, but Alex was ready to face them. The following morning, Alex woke early, a quiet determination filling their thoughts. The confrontation with Coincidental had left a lingering tension, but now it was time to take practical steps. Protecting Sam required more than reassurances. It required preparation, clarity, and evidence. Alex's mind raced with possibilities, considering every detail that might be important. After breakfast, Alex went through the house, ensuring everything was in order and noting small details that could later serve as documentation. Sam played nearby, coloring in their sketchbook, while Alex gently explained why careful record-keeping was necessary. "We're just keeping track of what happened so we can make sure you're always safe," Alex said. Sam nodded, understanding more than the words implied, and returned to their drawings with a focused, quiet energy. Alex started with video footage. The front yard camera had captured most of Corinne's approach and her interactions that morning. Reviewing the clips, Alex noted the timing, Corinne's movements, and her gestures toward Sam. Even though the footage could not capture Corinne's words clearly, it visually documented her behavior and proximity to the child. Alex paused at moments, jotting down timestamps and observations in a notebook, ensuring every detail was recorded accurately. Next, Alex reached out to potential witnesses. Neighbors who had observed the incident from their porches or passing driveways were contacted politely, with Alex explaining the situation calmly and emphasizing the importance of honesty and safety. Some neighbors expressed sympathy and support, recalling that Corinne had often been assertive in the past, while others were hesitant, unsure how to weigh in. Alex listened carefully, noting each account and confirming that it aligned with the events they had observed. With the evidence organized, Alex made another call to the local authorities. This time, the focus was on providing the compiled information, timestamps from the video, witness statements, and a written account of the morning's events. The dispatcher thanked Alex and assured them that the report would be carefully reviewed, emphasizing that the child's safety was a priority. Alex felt a small relief, knowing that they had moved from concern to action. Next came the Homeowners Association. Alex scheduled a meeting with the board, presenting the incident clearly and factually, without exaggeration or emotion. The goal was simple: make the HOA aware of Corinne's behavior and ensure that guidelines protecting residents, particularly children, were respected. While some board members expressed concern over potential conflict with Corinne, others took notes and promised to review policies that applied to the situation. Alex left the meeting feeling cautiously optimistic, knowing that official acknowledgement was an important step forward. Throughout the day, Alex continued reinforcing safety measures at home. Doors and gates were checked, and small adjustments were made to ensure that Sam had a secure space to play. More importantly, Alex spent time with Sam, explaining that while some people might act unfairly, there were adults working together to make sure nothing bad would happen. Sam responded well, drawing a small heart in their sketchbook and telling Alex, "I feel better now." The reassurance was mutual. Seeing Sam regain confidence gave Alex renewed strength. Corinne, meanwhile, remained unpredictable. Although she had not approached the house again, her earlier words lingered. Alex knew it was possible that she might attempt to assert control in other ways, through the HOA, neighbors, or casual remarks. This awareness underscored the importance of thorough documentation and clear communication with both authorities and the community. As evening approached, Alex reviewed the evidence once more, carefully organizing the notes, video timestamps, and witness statements into a single folder. Every detail was accounted for, from Corinne's approach to her gestures and words to the responses of Sam and Alex. This methodical preparation offered a sense of control in an otherwise unpredictable situation. Sitting quietly at the kitchen table, Alex reflected on the day's work. Gathering evidence was more than a procedural task. It was a way to protect Sam, assert boundaries, and demonstrate that fairness mattered. The challenge posed by Corinne was significant, but with clarity, patience, and organization, Alex felt confident that they could navigate it responsibly. Outside, the neighborhood settled into its usual calm, the sun dipping low in the sky. Within the home, however, a sense of preparedness had taken hold. The confrontation with Corinne had shaken the morning, but it had also set in motion a structured approach to safety and accountability. Alex knew the coming days would require vigilance, but with evidence collected, witnesses accounted for, and authorities informed, they felt ready to face whatever might come next. The quiet of the evening was reassuring, yet purposeful. Alex understood that in Willow Creek, Appearances could be deceiving, and true safety required careful attention. For Sam's sake, Alex would remain alert, measured, and unwavering in the commitment to protect the child, no matter how challenging the path ahead. The morning air in Willow Creek was crisp, carrying the faint scent of freshly cut grass and blooming flowers. Life in the neighborhood appeared peaceful, yet beneath the surface, the events at the home had begun to ripple through the community. Alex noticed subtle changes as they walked Sam to the front porch for a short morning activity. Some neighbors offered quiet nods of support, while others lingered in conversation, glancing toward the house with curiosity. Alex understood that the story of the previous week had reached ears beyond their own circle. In a close-knit neighborhood like Willow Creek, news traveled quickly, sometimes twisted along the way. To navigate this, Alex knew that clear communication was essential. They began speaking carefully with neighbors who had witnessed or heard about the morning confrontation with Karen, providing honest accounts and emphasizing the priority: Sam's safety and well-being. "Good morning, Mrs. Lewis," Alex greeted the neighbor who lived across the street. "I wanted to let you know exactly what happened so there's no misunderstanding." Mrs. Lewis nodded, her expression a mixture of concern and relief. "Thank you for being open, Alex. I was worried when I saw Karen near your house that morning. I'm glad Sam is safe." Small gestures of support like these became a source of strength for Alex. Other neighbors shared similar concerns privately, testimonies of Karen's tendency to push boundaries, moments when her assertiveness had made them uncomfortable, and their willingness to back the family if needed. Alex documented each conversation carefully, adding the information to the growing record of events. Despite the growing support, Karen's influence remained a challenge. She had started casually speaking with other residents, presenting her version of events in a calm, composed manner. "I only want what's best for the neighborhood," she would say, her tone polite but strategically vague. Some neighbors were unsure how to interpret her words, and Alex knew this was part of Karen's method, casting doubt while appearing reasonable. Alex decided to address the broader community directly. They organized a small neighborhood meeting, inviting residents to discuss concerns about boundaries, respect, and the safety of all children in Willow Creek. At the meeting, Alex spoke openly but calmly. "I want to share what happened at my home and why it matters," they said, glancing at Sam, who sat quietly beside them. "This is about making sure our neighborhood is safe, respectful, and fair for everyone." The response was encouraging. Several neighbors expressed support, sharing their own stories and highlighting the importance of community cooperation. Some had been hesitant to speak out before, worried about confrontation or judgment, but Alex's calm and factual approach gave them confidence. Slowly, a small coalition of neighbors began to form, people willing to observe, report, and support one another in maintaining fairness and safety. Karen naturally became aware of the growing attention. Her behavior shifted slightly, more guarded but still assertive. She continued to approach situations with her usual confidence, but Alex's methodical documentation and the backing of supportive neighbors created a subtle but growing check on her influence. Karen's attempts to sway opinion were increasingly met with measured responses, factual recounting, and the quiet solidarity of those who understood the importance of protecting the child. At home, Alex and Sam continued their routines, but the environment carried a new layer of security. Alex could see that Sam was beginning to feel more confident again, reassured by the support of neighbors and the visible steps being taken to ensure their safety. The child returned to their drawings, sketching the neighborhood with smiling figures, trees, and sun-filled skis, a reflection of the small but growing sense of optimism. By evening, Alex reflected on the day's progress. The community's awareness was shifting, moving from curiosity and uncertainty to understanding and action. While challenges with Karen remained, the family was no longer facing them in isolation. Documentation, transparency, and open communication were proving to be effective tools in navigating the complexities of neighborhood dynamics. As night settled over Willow Creek, Alex felt a cautious sense of hope. The confrontation with Karen had sparked ripples across the community, and those ripples were beginning to build a supportive network. Tomorrow would bring new opportunities and new challenges, but Alex knew that with patience, preparation, and the growing support of neighbors, they could continue to protect Sam and restore a sense of fairness and calm to their home. The late morning sun shone over Willow Creek, casting warm light on the neatly lined houses. Alex had spent the night reviewing notes, witness statements, and security footage. Today was not just another routine day. It was the day they would confront Karen directly, with the support of the Homeowners Association and a few neighbors who had witnessed previous events. The goal was clear: set boundaries, ensure Sam's safety, and address Karen's behavior in a controlled and fair environment. Alex guided Sam to the front porch, explaining gently, "Sam, we're going to have some adults here today, and everyone will speak calmly. You just sit with me and remember you're safe." Sam nodded, holding the sketchbook tightly, eyes wide but trusting. Alex could feel the child's anxiety but also a quiet strength emerging. Soon, Karen arrived, walking with her usual confidence, her gaze scanning the small group assembled near the home. HOA representatives and a few supportive neighbors were present, each standing respectfully but attentively. Karen's expression was calm, but Alex could sense the calculating nature behind her eyes, aware that she was about to be questioned, yet confident in her own justifications. Alex took a deep breath and began. "Karen, thank you for joining us today. We are here to discuss the events of last week and ensure that everyone in our neighborhood feels safe and respected. This is a structured conversation, and we hope to reach a clear understanding." Karen's smile was measured. "Of course, I just want the best for the community," she said, her voice calm but deliberate. Alex continued, speaking clearly and without emotion. "We are concerned about the interaction with Sam. The child was startled and upset by your actions. We are here to understand why it happened and to set clear boundaries moving forward." Karen's expression shifted slightly, a flicker of defensiveness appearing. "I only intended to guide. Sometimes children need correction to understand responsibility," she said. "I don't see why there's such a problem. I wasn't trying to harm anyone." Alex remained composed, relying on the evidence they had meticulously collected. Sam's reaction shows that the interaction was upsetting. Regardless of intent, it is important that Sam feels safe. Our concern is not punishment. It is setting clear boundaries to ensure this does not happen again. HOA representatives nodded, reviewing notes and referring to neighborhood guidelines. One board member spoke up. "Karen, our rules emphasize respect for personal property and residents, particularly children. Any interaction that causes distress is unacceptable. We need assurances that this will not be repeated." Karen's posture stiffened slightly. She glanced around, recognizing that the support for Alex and Sam was solid and that her usual tactics of casual charm or subtle intimidation would be less effective with witnesses present. "I understand your concerns," she said carefully. "I'll be more mindful in the future." Her voice, though measured, hinted at reluctance. Alex decided to clarify expectations. "We appreciate that. To be clear, Sam should not be approached in any situation that might be uncomfortable or frightening. This includes physical gestures or attempts to correct behavior without parental consent." Karen nodded, her expression neutral. "Understood." Neighbors who had witnessed past interactions offered supportive statements, recounting what they had seen and affirming that Alex's concerns were reasonable. The presence of multiple accounts reinforced the credibility of the parents' position. Karen listened quietly, occasionally nodding, aware that resistance could no longer be subtle. By the end of the meeting, the atmosphere had shifted. Karen remained confident in her own way, but she had faced the firm boundaries set by Alex, the HOA, and the neighbors. Alex felt a mix of relief and determination. They had successfully communicated expectations, established documentation, and involved community authority in a structured, calm manner. After Karen left, Alex turned to Sam, who had watched the meeting with quiet courage. "See, Sam, everything is okay. We spoke up and now everyone understands the rules," Alex said gently. Sam nodded, a small smile appearing, reassured by the presence of supportive adults and the clarity of the outcome. That evening, as the neighborhood settled into its usual calm, Alex reflected on the confrontation. Today had not been about winning or losing. It had been about protecting Sam, asserting boundaries, and engaging the community in a positive and fair way. The process had been challenging, but methodical preparation, evidence, and support had created a space where justice and safety could prevail. Alex knew that Karen might continue to test limits in subtle ways, but the foundation had been set. With clear expectations, witness support, and HOA involvement, future incidents could be addressed swiftly and fairly. The family had moved from reactive concern to proactive protection, a crucial step in ensuring Sam's confidence, safety, and sense of security in their home and community. The day ended quietly, with Alex feeling a renewed sense of control. Willow Creek remained peaceful, but the family had learned an important lesson. Calm preparation, clear communication, and community support could turn even a tense confrontation into a constructive outcome. For Sam and for Alex, that was a victory worth cherishing. The week following the confrontation brought a quiet but purposeful rhythm to the household. Alex had spent the days reviewing notes, organizing witness statements, and coordinating with HOA officials and local authorities. Each step was deliberate, a careful balance between protecting Sam and navigating community dynamics. It was clear that progress required persistence, patience, and a structured approach. Alex began the morning by contacting the local authorities again, providing an updated summary of events and confirming that all evidence, video footage, witness statements, and written accounts, had been submitted. The dispatcher assured Alex that the report would continue through official channels, emphasizing that the child's safety and well-being were the priority. Alex felt a sense of reassurance, knowing that proper procedures were being followed. Next, Alex met with HOA representatives for a formal review. The board acknowledged the documented incident and confirmed that Karen's behavior had violated community guidelines regarding respect, boundaries, and interactions with children. The HOA proposed a plan. Karen would receive an official warning, and steps would be taken to monitor future interactions to ensure safety. Alex appreciated the structured approach. It was professional, fair, and left no room for ambiguity. In addition to official steps, Alex engaged with supportive neighbors, keeping them informed of developments. These conversations strengthened the community network, creating a quiet but firm barrier against any further incidents. Many neighbors expressed relief that the issue was being handled responsibly and were willing to act as witnesses if needed. Alex felt grateful for the solidarity. It was a reminder that even challenging situations could be met with collective support. Throughout the week, Sam's mood improved gradually. The child returned to drawing and playing outside with a renewed sense of confidence, reassured by the visible steps Alex was taking. Alex made it a priority to spend extra time with Sam, emphasizing trust, safety, and open communication. "See, Sam, we're making sure everyone understands the rules now. You don't have to be scared," Alex said one afternoon as they played together in the yard. Sam smiled, finally relaxing into the comfort of routine and security. Karen, aware of the ongoing documentation and the HOA's involvement, adjusted her behavior. She approached less frequently and was careful in interactions, though she maintained her characteristic confidence. Alex recognized that her adjustments were influenced by accountability measures, the supportive neighbor network, and the formal steps already in place. While vigilance remained important, the family was no longer navigating the situation alone. By midweek, Alex received confirmation that the official report had been formally recorded with local authorities. The documentation included all previously submitted evidence, witness statements, and an account of Karen's behavior during the confrontation with HOA officials. Alex felt a deep sense of relief. The processes in motion ensured accountability and provided a framework for resolving future issues fairly. To reinforce safety, Alex also implemented practical measures at home. Small adjustments like ensuring visibility around the yard, securing entry points, and establishing clear routines for outdoor activities created a structured environment for Sam. These steps were not just precautions. They were opportunities to empower the child, providing confidence that the home was a secure and predictable place. Evening brought quiet reflection. Alex reviewed the week's progress and thought about the lessons learned. Standing firm, documenting every detail, and involving appropriate authorities had transformed a tense and uncertain situation into one with clarity, accountability, and fairness. Sam's growth in confidence was a visible reminder that careful, thoughtful action could produce meaningful results. As night settled over Willow Creek, the neighborhood remained calm and the home felt more secure than it had in weeks. Alex tucked Sam into bed, brushing back strands of hair and whispering reassurances. "We're taking care of everything, Sam. You are safe and people are watching out for us." Sam smiled and hugged Alex tightly, a quiet sign that the child felt understood, protected, and supported. Alex knew the path ahead required continued vigilance, but the foundation had been set. Formal steps with authorities, HOA involvement, and a supportive community created a framework in which fairness, safety, and accountability could prevail. For Alex and Sam, the uncertainty and tension of the past days were gradually giving way to a sense of security, stability, and empowerment. In Willow Creek, appearances of tranquility could be deceiving, but Alex now understood a vital truth. Preparedness, clear communication, and persistence could transform even the most challenging situations into an opportunity for resolution and growth. The confrontation with Karen had sparked difficult moments, but it had also inspired action, unity, and renewed strength. With Sam resting peacefully, Alex sat quietly at the kitchen table, reflecting on the journey so far. They knew the final steps toward resolution were approaching, and with patience, evidence, and community support, the family was ready to see the situation through to a fair and lasting conclusion. The sun rose gently over Willow Creek, casting a warm glow on the quiet streets. After weeks of tension, documentation, and careful communication, the family felt a renewed sense of peace in their home. Alex had spent the morning reviewing the outcomes of their efforts, formal reports filed with authorities, HOA measures in place, and supportive neighbors aware and willing to step in if needed. For the first time since the incident, there was a sense that the situation had been managed responsibly and effectively. Sam played in the yard, carefully arranging small toys and drawing chalk patterns on the driveway. There was a lightness to the child's movements, a visible comfort in the familiar space of their home. Alex watched from the porch, a mix of relief and pride filling their chest. The child's resilience had been remarkable, and the steps taken over the past week had restored a sense of safety that had been shaken. Karen had adjusted her behavior as well. Though still confident and assertive, she no longer approached the property uninvited, and her interactions with the family were limited to polite, formal nods during neighborhood walks. The HOA's involvement had created a clear framework for boundaries, and Karen's awareness of the community's watchful eye had encouraged compliance. Alex recognized that change, even small, was a sign that structured accountability could work when applied thoughtfully. Alex reflected on the journey they had undertaken. It had begun with fear and uncertainty, escalated into tension and confrontation, and now moved into careful resolution and reflection. Each step, documenting events, gathering evidence, communicating clearly, involving authorities, and engaging neighbors, had been necessary to protect Sam and assert the family's rights within the community. The experience had been challenging, but it had also been a powerful reminder of the importance of preparation, patience, and calm action. Later in the day, Alex invited a few supportive neighbors over for a brief gathering. The purpose was simple: to thank those who had offered guidance, witness accounts, and moral support. The atmosphere was warm and communal, a quiet celebration of solidarity rather than conflict. Conversations flowed easily, neighbors sharing stories of everyday life in Willow Creek, finding common ground in humor, shared experiences, and a mutual desire for a safe and respectful community. Sam, sitting quietly in the corner, listened and occasionally smiled at the familiar faces. "I like it when everyone is here," the child said softly to Alex, glancing up with a sense of contentment. Alex smiled, brushing a strand of hair from Sam's face. "Me too, Sam. It's nice to know people care and are looking out for each other." By evening, the neighborhood had returned to its calm rhythm. Alex took a moment to walk through the streets, observing the orderly houses, children playing safely, and neighbors engaging in casual conversation. The morning confrontation felt like a distant memory, softened by the clear steps taken to resolve the situation and strengthen the community. Alex realized that while challenges could arise unexpectedly, the response mattered far more than the incident itself. Calm preparation, clear communication, and support from others had turned a tense experience into a constructive outcome. Back at home, Alex and Sam settled in for the night. The child's laughter filled the room as they recounted small victories of the day, and Alex responded with warmth and encouragement. "See, Sam, you handled everything so well. You are brave and you are safe here." The child nodded, eyes heavy with sleep but shining with trust and comfort. Alex reflected on the lessons learned throughout this experience. They understood that safety and fairness required vigilance, courage, and persistence. Challenges could appear in the most peaceful of neighborhoods, but methodical action, community involvement, and clear boundaries could transform even difficult circumstances into opportunities for growth and understanding. As the lights dimmed and the night settled over Willow Creek, Alex felt a sense of closure. The family had faced uncertainty, confrontation, and stress, yet had emerged stronger, more confident, and more united. Sam was safe, supported, and thriving, and Alex knew that the experience had strengthened not just their family bond, but their connection with the community as well. In the quiet stillness of the night, Alex whispered softly to Sam, "We did it together, and we will continue to keep our home safe and happy." Sam responded with a small smile, resting against Alex with complete trust. The journey had been challenging, but it had ended with a sense of resolution, healing, and hope. For the family, Willow Creek was once again a place of peace, security, and community. A neighborhood where boundaries were respected, voices were heard, and home truly felt like home. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe and join us for the next mystery on HOA Hunter Stories.